All right, we are on lesson 7 today, and that is on page 13. And we have been talking about sentences all week and last week, and we've talked about subjects. Raise your hand if you can tell me about the subject of a sentence.
The subject of a sentence is, are you talking about the complete or the simple subject?
Either one right now.
Okay. The subject is who or what the sentence is about.
Very good. The subject is who or what the sentence is about. And what part of speech or what kind of word is the subject?
A noun.
It's a noun. Very good. It's a person, place, or thing. And then the other part that makes up a sentence so that we have a complete sentence is called the predicate. Who can tell me about the predicate? Damien.
What predicate is whatever the subject is doing.
Right. It's whatever the subject is doing if it's an action verb, or whatever the subject is if it's a linking verb. And we talked about our linking verbs: is, am, are, was, were, and we'll get more into detail on those in our verb chapter coming up in a couple of weeks. But yes, so the predicate part tells what the subject is doing or what the subject is. The complete subject is all the words in the subject part of the sentence. The simple subject is the main thing the sentence is about. A lot of times it's just one word, or if it's a proper noun, it might be more than one word that all goes together. And then the simple predicate is the verb. The complete predicate is all the words with the verb and all the words after it in the sentence. But the simple predicate is just the verb, the action word or the linking verb. Okay? So we've talked about that all week, last week and this week. Today we're doing something that's very easy, but it's a good review of what we've talked about with that all week. We are going to diagram the sentences. And when we diagram, eventually, once we get later in the year, there's going to be a whole lot more than just diagramming the simple subject and the simple predicate. But that's how we start out, okay? So we're going to identify the subject, the main word in the subject, and then the verb in each sentence. And in the top of your page, in the yellow box, everybody knows what we do. We take our finger and we touch that yellow box so that we all know we're on the same page. We're at the same spot together. Hassan, touch your page with us. Thank you, buddy. All right. We have some samples there. We've got my grandmother's hat is blue. The subject part of that sentence is my grandmother's hat. But what is the simple subject in that sentence, Genelise?
Is. Wait, no. Hat.
Hat, the subject. Yes. The simple subject, the main thing we're talking about in that sentence is the hat, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the verb in that sentence, Ronald? Is. Hat is. And you can see how they have those drawn on the simple subject and simple predicate lines on there as well. The next sample that they give us at the top of the page is the wind blew her hat. What is that sentence about, Chantel? Wind. Very good. Wind is a thing. That's a noun. And that's what we're talking about. What did the wind do? What is our verb, Haley? Blew. Wind blew. Very good. And then the final sample one for us is Aunt Liz brought it back. What is the subject of that sentence, Kaylee?
Aunt Liv.
Yes, very good. Aunt Liz. And that's 2 words because that's what her name is. That's a proper noun, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and what would be the verb in that sentence, Emma? Brought. Aunt Liz brought. Very good. Any questions about our sample sentences? Then let's do the guided practice ones and see how we do on those, okay? All right. So down here, it says draw a line between the complete subject and the complete predicate. So we're going to do that first because that helps you know which part goes on the subject side of this and which part goes on the predicate side. And after we draw the line, we're going to write the simple subject on the diagram and the simple predicate on the diagram, okay? All right, so number 1, most beets are dark red or purple. Where would we draw our line to divide that sentence, Jennalise?
Between beets and R.
Between beets and R. So everyone should draw your line there between beets and R. And then Jennalise, go ahead and tell us how what is going to be our simple subject in that sentence.
Beets.
Beets. Very good. You're going to write that on the diagram on the subject side. The subject side is the left side, okay? And then Jennalise, what is the verb?
R.
Very good. That's the simple predicate, the verb. Beets are. It's the basis for this sentence, okay? The foundational part of this sentence. Okay, number 2. Sugar beet roots look white. Where would we split that sentence, beautiful? Between roots and look. Everyone draw your line between roots and look. Beautiful. What would we put on our diagram? What is the simple subject? Roots. And what is our simple predicate? Very good. Now, let me tell you about this one, okay? Look. If I'm looking at something, that's an action word, okay? Because I'm a person and I have eyes and I can see. But look is also one of the 5 senses. Sight is. It's one, smelling, feeling, touching, hearing, seeing, okay? Those are not action words. Those are linking verbs. And can a root see things?
No.
No, it's not a living, it's a fruit or it's a vegetable, like a beet is a vegetable. So it's not looking at something, it looks like something, okay? That's what that means there. So in this case, look is the correct predicate, but it's not an action verb. It's a linking verb, okay? And we'll talk more about that when we get to our verb chapter in a couple weeks. All right, number 3. They grow for 5 months. Let me see, somebody that hasn't answered anything yet. Diamond, where would we divide that? They grow for 5 months.
Grow in 4.
So is grow a thing or is that an action?
5 months.
Chantel.
They and grow.
Between they and grow. They is a pronoun. Remember we talked about those yesterday? It can take the place of a noun. So they in that sentence is talking about the sugar beets. Okay? It's talking about that. It's referring to it. So it can be a subject. Chantel, what is the simple subject in that sentence?
They.
They. And what is the simple predicate?
Grow.
Grow. And this word is an action verb because plants can grow. That's an action, okay? They can't see, but they can grow. All right. Number 4. These plants like rain and sunshine. Jennalise, where do we divide?
Like plants and like.
Between plants and like. Very good. Remember, we always divide our sentence right in front of the verb. And so we know that like is our verb, correct? All right. What is the simple subject in that sentence, Jennalise?
Simple subject is.
What thing is this about? These plants. Like rain and sunshine. Yes, plants. And what is the verb?
Like.
Very good. Number 5. Farmers plant beets in the spring. Hassan, where would we divide that?
Between farmers and plants.
Very good. Very good. Between farmers and plants. And Hassan, what is the subject of that sentence?
Farmers.
Farmers. And what is the verb? The action word.
Plant.
Plant. Very good. The simple predicate is the verb. Farmers plant. All right, number 6. Harvest comes in the fall. Where would we divide that one, Elijah?
Harvest and comes.
Between harvest and comes, that's right. And Elijah, what is the subject of that sentence?
Harvest.
Not the, simple, just harvest, very good. And what is the verb or the predicate?
Comes.
Comes, very good. Harvest comes. And then finally, in our guided practice, we have number 7. Factories process the beets into sugar. Ronald, where do we split that?
Factories.
Process. That's very good. And Ronald, what is the simple subject?
Factories.
And what is the simple predicate?
Proceeds.
Process. That's the action of possessing something, processing something. Any questions on what we did so far? Okay, you're going to turn over to the back of your page to the independent practice side, and you're going to do the same thing. You've got 8 sentences, and you're going to draw a line to divide between the subject and the predicate, and then you are going to put on the diagram the simple subject on the left and the simple predicate on the right. Look down at the bottom with me real quick before you begin that. Apply and write. Write a sentence about something sweet you like to eat. Underline the simple subject once and the simple predicate twice. 2 lines under the predicate. Okay? All right, when you finish that, we will be doing our page here, page 7, and the extra practice sheets. And it's the exact same thing. You're going to draw a line between the subject and the predicate, and you are going to put the subject on the simple subject. The simple subject. I'm going to leave these up here so you can remember the simple subject, not the something, just the noun that is the simple subject, and the simple predicate over here. Any questions? All right, go ahead and get started on that.